Hello, so today we're going to talk about the Sun conjunct to the Ascendant. So the Ascendant and the first house in general is a very interesting place in the chart because this is a place that is very, very natural. This is not something that we're really trying to express. It's just something that we naturally express. So people with the Sun conjunct to the Ascendant, we're going to see people who are very radiant, very charismatic, who have these strengths of the sun, this light of the sun. So physically, what I've noticed with them is that they tend to be quite luminous, very radiant. I see that there are a lot of blondes actually with the sun conjunct the ascendant. And there is also a lot of class, these people are very confident. They have a nobility to them. They have a dignity. They have a masculinity as well. And even the women, you will rarely see tomboys with the sun conjunct the ascendant. It's not like something like Mars. It's a bit more sophisticated, it's a bit more mature, I would say. So to give you some examples, Kate Blanchett has the sun conjunct the ascendant, Grace Kelly, Scarlett Johansson, Gillian Anderson, Gigi Hadid. So you can see how they all are very radiant. They exude a lot of light, and it looks like the light comes from within, really. And they tend to have a style that is usually very classic, or very sophisticated, very kind of like high class. And the men also can be like that, like Heath Ledger also has the sun conjunct the ascendant, Alexander Skarsgård. So usually with these people, you will see also a lot of vitality, a lot of energy. It's a more focused energy than, say, again, something like Mars, which is a bit more chaotic. But yeah, these people often have a very good health, good vitality, and they have a very strong presence. They tend to be well respected also, these people. They definitely tend to be involved in leadership. They tend to command attention, so they tend to be leaders themselves. And I've noticed that they tend to really provide stability, because the sun is a very reliable energy. So these are the kind of people who will appear very strong. People will flock to them for support, for reassurance. They have this fatherly energy, and you will see a lot of them in very long-lasting position of leadership. So to give you some examples, Augustus, the emperor, Roman emperor Augustus, he was the emperor who kept the Roman Empire at peace for the longest. Lorenzo de' Medici, for those who knows the Italian history, a little bit of Italian history, he was also someone who was known for keeping peace in his city. He was very well respected as a leader. To give you more infamous examples, we also have like the Borgia Pope and Cesare Borgia. They also have the sun conjunct to the ascendant. So with displacement, what is definitely noticeable is that you will, even though leadership is not necessarily going to be good, it can often be long lasting, and these people are very high ambitions. They definitely want to be leaders, and they have this sense of destiny, that they have something to do in this life. Another example of long-lasting leadership is the Dalai Lama, who also has the sun conjunct to the ascendant. So yes, one thing that is also interesting about these people, with the sun is the energy that rules Leo, is the planet that rules the sign of Leo. So you might think that with the sun conjunct to the ascendant, you're going to have people who are very Leo-like. And it's true, there are some similarities, definitely. They can even look the way you would imagine a Leo, very strong, healthy, very radiant, luminous. Usually you see rather strong features on these people's faces. But one thing that you will rarely see with the sun conjunct the ascendant is attention-seeking people. Like, that's really something I've noticed. These people tend to keep to themselves. And if the sun is in the 12th house, meaning behind the ascendant, still conjunct to the ascendant, but not in the first and in the 12th, then you will really have very, very private people. But still, the energy is going to be very noticeable, very, very charismatic. And so, yeah, these people, they don't really need to do much to attract attention. They don't even have to really say much. These people are just have this radiance and this light that people will notice about them. And actually, I would say this is very much in opposition to the sun conjunct the descendant, right? The point opposite to the ascendant, which is the 7th house. These are the people who will, on the other hand, will need more reassurance, will need more, other people's attention on them, or that will need kind of like a more confirmation from other people in order to feel more secure in their identity. But when you have the sun in the 1st house, you're very, very, or sun conjunct the ascendant, even if it's in the 12th house, you have this very confident quality about you, very self-focused at least. So yeah, these people tend to really keep to themselves. Even in relationship, I've seen a lot of people who are much more independent. They are often unmarried. This happens a lot. I know my aunt has the sun conjunct the ascendant. I have a friend who has the sun conjunct the ascendant as well, a woman friend, and they are both unmarried. They are, or they are not in relationship. They are on their own, and they have a certain age now. And it's not like they don't necessarily want relationship. And when you have the sun on the ascendant, it's not that you're not meant for relationships or that you don't want one, but really the self is going to be first. So you will see people who are going to be more focused on themselves, on their career, and definitely you will rarely see people who will be more, these are not the kind of people who are going to be in a relationship just because that's what society expect them to do, because they feel very self-sufficient. So they are like, why would I do that? Why would I be with someone who is like good enough, or who just to provide money for me, or whatever the reason is. They don't want that, and they don't need that, honestly. And also they don't easily feel that lonely. I mean, they can, but it's not really something that they won't necessarily do something about it, because they have other priorities. So yes, you will see these people much more independent. They're going to prioritize themselves, their career, etc. But one thing about these people as well is that, yes, like I said, they really give off this very strong, stable, grounded quality as well. Even though it's the sun and it's a fiery energy, it's a very reliable energy, So we have, because the sun always shows up, it's this big ball of light. So all the planets turn around it. So yes, it's this very reliable energy. It's the center. So people tend to go to sun conjunct ascendant people when they, when things get tough, or when they need reassurance, when they need a strong shoulders to lean on. They go to sun on the ascendant people. Now, what you need to remember about sun ascendant people, if you know someone like that, and if you see that this person is very strong indeed, and that they appear to have everything under control, you need to remember that these people are human beings too. They're not superhuman. They do have moments of weakness. They have their needs too. They also are people who need sometimes a shoulder to lean on. They are not always. They are very strong, but they are humans too, basically. So yeah, keep that in mind when you are, interacting with sun on the ascendant people. And if you have the sun on the ascendant, you also need to remember that you are not a rock. You can have moments of weakness. It's okay. And also remember, to listen to other people as well, because I think that when you have the sun on the ascendant, I think it's a good placement overall, but if the sun is difficult, it has difficult aspects, it can make people a bit like tyrant at times. It can make them a bit like, I'm the boss, and especially in relationships, it's very hard for these people to compromise. It's more difficult. So remember that, remember that when you are in relationships, not just romantic relationships, but any kind of relationships, you need to compromise at times. That's how relationship works. And the sun, because they have their habits, they have their convictions. The sun is very secure in itself. So these people, they have their own thing going on, and that's how they want it to be. So it's kind of difficult for them to adapt to other people's needs and energy. They are different from their own. But yes, that's something to remember. But overall, I think it's a pretty good placement to have. So thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my channel, and in the comments below, if you want me to talk about another aspect, any aspect really, it can be even a synastry aspect, you can ask me. Bye.